Welcome to Zen Money Monday, weekly conversations with innovators, thought leaders, and entrepreneurial junkies about building good businesses, exploring what the idea of Zen money really means, and how to achieve it. With your host, author, business strategist, and Zen Money CFO, Liz LaJoy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Zen Money Monday. If you happen to have missed last week's episode, I was speaking with Laura Beauparlant, who is a branding and design expert, and we were talking about the back end of her business, but also the concept of how to bring your brand to life. It was a really wide-ranging, fun conversation, so if you haven't seen it. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. You can go to zenmoneymap.com/038 to catch that episode. And this week, right now, I want to dive into your energy, your money. What do I mean by that? I think that we spend a lot of time in our businesses doing many, many things. We are inundated with external communications, marketing plans, things that need to happen within our business, like working with clients. Let's be honest, that should take up a good chunk of our time. And what happens sometimes from the financial standpoint is that the work that is required to make your business successful financially sometimes gets put by the wayside. And it's not because we don't want the money to come in. It's not that we don't want to make good spending decisions and all of that. It's just that, it's kind of like, those fun drudgery routines, I say fun in air quotes, drudgery routines in our household, right? Like doing the laundry or doing the dishes or something like that, where we know we need to do it. We appreciate the results once it's done, like clean sheets on the bed, but the actual work around it sometimes isn't as systematic as it might be. So I just want to remind you and have a conversation here today that where we put our energy, where we put our focus does indeed grow. And that includes your financial management, the real ticky-tacky stuff. So what I see happening for a lot of people is, they have all the best intentions. I don't mean to be kind of school marmish about this, but we always have the best intentions to be more systematic around sending out invoices, making sure that we're getting paid in a timely manner, making sure we're paying other people, etc. But we often don't stick to it. It's kind of like that exercise routine that we commit to in our heads in January, and then by the end of the month, we're distracted, we're off to something else. For some reason, we miss out on a week, and so then we never get back on track. So I want you to think a little bit about when you spend time working on the inside of your business, making sure that things are tidy, that your, I's are dotted and T's are crossed in terms of your record keeping, making sure that, again, things are getting paid, etc. And one way to do this is to create a specific time and day of the week, a money date, if you will, to make sure that you are committing time and effort and energy to getting this stuff done. So when I say a money date, I just mean carving out 15 to 30 minutes a week, hopefully at a particular time so that you can stick with it and you can start to create some habitualization around it. You can make it a habit so that every Friday at 10 a.m., you're checking in on your cash accounts. You're making sure that invoices have gone out. You haven't dropped the ball on anybody that you owe money to. You have that all scheduled and it's making sense. And as we get into the routine of this stuff doesn't have to take a lot of time, right? At the end of the month, we want to reconcile our accounts, or we want to make sure that our bookkeeper is doing that, right? So if you're just checking in where you stand, who owes you money, who do you owe money to on a weekly basis, 3 things are going to happen. One, you're going to reduce the amount of time that you're scrambling at year end to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed in your financial world for tax season. It's going to make that whole part of your life a whole lot easier. 2, you're going to be much more aware of the actual money flow within your business, which is 3, going to give you a much better handle on how your business is doing, the health of your business, and how much money you actually have to pay yourself, which is, again, ultimately why we're all doing this. We want to work with clients. We want to enjoy what we're doing. We want to have some control over our lives as small business owners, but we also want to make some money. So one way to ensure that you can do that is to make sure that you are putting at least some of your energy on a quite regular basis toward your money management, the real ins and outs of what's going on. You can, of course, layer on top of that additional energies and additional focus on strategy, making sure that your pricing is set properly, making sure that the people who work with you understand, the money flow and what's important to focus on to make sure that you're maximizing all the hard work that everyone's doing. All of that stuff is great. But at the very least, if you're not in the habit of looking at your stuff regularly, I really encourage you to set a date with yourself, put it on your calendar, make it as important as, a dinner date with your spouse or exercise or doing your laundry if you want to look at it or still think of it as a negative, right? All of those things may not be the most fun thing to do, but boy, it's sure nice to slip into a freshly made bed with clean sheets, right? That can be the same feeling you can get when you start to really spend some time paying attention to the numbers in your life, your actual financial situation, and it's going to help you get where you want to go much more quickly because you're going to be much more invested in what's happening. So one example that I have, I work with clients in a bunch of different levels, but with a few of them, we're quite deeply embedded. We do all of the financial work. We are sending out contracts. We are taking care of invoicing. We're following up with people when they don't pay us, right? And so we have a very systematic process to make sure that we're hitting all of the pieces along that client journey from a financial standpoint so that our client can get paid when they need to get paid. So if we miss those targets, and this is, our job when we're working with somebody, if we miss that somebody hasn't paid us, if we don't get an invoice out in time, here's the ramification. The money doesn't come in when it was supposed to. The owner and our client is now wondering, is it okay? Am I going to have enough money to cover that credit card bill? Are we going to be in a position where I'm going to have to rethink some of our spending? I don't want our clients ever to have that, and I don't want you guys to have that either. There are bigger things in the world for you to be worrying about. And, if you've been in business for a while and you've built up a financial cushion, you should be able to ride out some of those things. And, if a client pays you on Friday versus paying you on the next Tuesday, that shouldn't make a difference in your business. But many of you out there are working very, very close to the bone. And by that, I mean, it's critical that some people pay you on time. So if we're in a situation where, you're taking a credit card and we're running it automatically for a client, for example, and then, it expires or bounces for some other reason that's going on in your client's life, well, that then becomes your problem as the owner. So we need to have a systematized process for reaching out, making sure that we get new information, figuring out a different way for them to pay us, having there be consequences if they don't pay us, right? Those are all pieces of the puzzle for your financial flow. But then it's great to have that all lined out as a process. But if we stick it in a drawer somewhere and never check in on our actual situation, that doesn't help us either. So the whole point of this conversation is where you put your energy will grow, right? So if we put our energy, even just a little bit every week toward the health and figuring out where you stand financially, that part of your business is going to grow, which ultimately means your entire business is going to grow because if the money is coming in easily, if you have extra resources available, if you're not having to play the shell game and you're feeling really abundant around the cash coming in your door, then you can grow. You can hire new people. You can do more with advertising. You can put yourself in different rooms. You can do a lot of different things to grow your business itself. And you can also make a decision to put more money in your own pocket. So that's my soapbox for this week. Think about how often you're checking in with your numbers. And if it's not a regular commitment, I encourage you to do it, even just 30 days, right? 30 days helps us create a habit. And then you can get into a point where, you're on vacation. You don't have to have a Friday check-in, but you're doing it regularly enough otherwise to know that you can let it ride. I don't want you to let it ride and then get caught short. I'd rather have you have a structure around the time that you're committing to this part of your business, whether you're doing it all by yourself, whether you have a team supporting you. Let's just carve out time to make sure these conversations are happening, that the checks and balances are being made, and that you're making sure that your financial flow is as clean and fast and easy as it possibly can be. So I hope that's helpful. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. Be sure to tune in next week as well. I'm going to be speaking with one of my clients and favorite people, Mara Leinerberger, all about the business of school building, which is a hot topic right now, especially with COVID. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Take care. Did you like this episode of Zen Money Monday? I would love to hear from you. If you want to submit a review of this podcast, all you have to do is visit ratethispodcast.com/Zen Money to let us know what you think. Would love to hear your feedback. Are you worried that you might not be catching all of the things that you need to in your financial management? You can get a jump on your money and never miss another financial step with my Quick Start Kit, which will set you on your path to Zen Money with 5 time-tested and easy-to-use, I promise, checklists, templates, bookkeeping tools, cheat sheets that are going to help you know what to do and when. If you are ready to master your cash flow and get your records in order and never miss another bookkeeping step, all you have to do is go to zenmoneymap.com/kit, K-I-T, to get started with that. Hope you enjoy.